go. Let's go.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, yes.
What?
Yeah, let's go.
What?
What is up, everybody? Welcome into the pregame lounge.
Dude, Adam
Always brings energy.
What was
Adam's
that?
been doing some storybook reading to his children, clearly.
I do a
He's
lot of-
bringing Clifford the Big Red Dog
Do you want to
energy.
know a true story about that?
Yeah.
Because we do obviously bedtime stories, and I read somewhere that if you read books but with voices and character, like you really accentuate it, it's good for their brains. It's like a dumb thing you read. So now when I read books, you guys would laugh so hard if you heard me when I'm reading books.
Is laughing and cringing uncontrollably the same thing?
I'm going to become a children's book writer so I can just start trolling adults into doing the dumbest.
There's some
dumbest
really bad
things.
children's books. Sometimes I read them. I'm like, this is horrible, man.
You're like,
It's a
where's
terrible
the
story.
character development?
There is the character. But you guys know
It's like Game of Thrones.
and this is a true story. You're not going to believe this. Do you guys know that I have written a children's book?
I do believe it, but I didn't know it.
It's about a grizzly bear who sneaks out of the den for winter.
Okay.
Very good story. Kids love it. I got D-Line to go with me.
What's up, guys? Little thrown off my game by what Adam just said. All the same, I hope that the Memphis Grizzlies are as good as his book about Grizzlies.
Oh, wow. Well, wait, what?
Not good. Let's go.
I got that hurts, man.
I know,
That really
I
hurts.
know.
I got Brendan Vogt over here. Bring better energy.
Friday night, vibes flying high. I hope you're in the bar because you're in the right spot, whether this is a massive win or a deflating loss. You're
That's
going to
so
want to
true.
be right here.
Drink yourself happy or drink yourself sad.
That's right, baby.
We're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Later in the show, Eric D-Line Co. right over here is going to win us all some money. We made a parlay tonight. By the way, there's some great bets online. We'll tell you about them later, but if you're on DraftKings, they have free money tonight if you want it. So you're going to want to opt in. But first, guys, this is a big day in Nuggets Nation. Nuggets on a one-game winning streak, streaking a little bit. They got the Memphis Grizzlies, who have been red hot. Vogt, what do you have for us?
Well, we talked a lot about DeMarcus Cousins, if you can believe it, fellas. Of course, Michael Malone acknowledged. Obviously, I have a pre-existing relationship with DeMarcus. We stayed in touch upon my firing.
That sounds like a criminal thing to
I was
say.
gonna
Like,
say-
I have a pre-existing relationship.
It was weird, yeah,
I have
yeah.
a pre-existing condition with DeMarcus Cousins.
You do, actually. yes.
He said DeMarcus is someone that he cares about and someone who's ready for this and deserves this shot. So he just said he's thankful he's here. I think he will have a great 10 days, and we will go from there. Of course, Bryn Forbes, guys, is expected to play tonight. In fact,
Do you
Michael,
feel bad for Bryn Forbes?
with the way that was presented a little bit.
Well, just don't you feel like DeMarcus Cousins is
Oh.
the headline, and then like Bryn Forbes is almost the footnote? When it's funny because Bryn Forbes is actually on the team.
And the one who's going to play tonight. That's
Right.
my next note. Malone said Forbes will play for sure. Cousins is a game-time decision. Both went through shoot-around for what it's worth. Cousins is dealing with a nagging issue. Malone was hesitant to even call it an injury, but I'm going to call it that because he does seem to be dealing with something. So game-time decision tonight. Forbes will play. And then on the Forbes note, and to Adam's question, Malone said no one holds any ill will towards Bryn Forbes, but, and I'm paraphrasing now, he's coming in for PJ Dozier, who was loved in that locker room.
Yeah.
Loved by everyone. And Malone went on to say that he hopes he gets to work with PJ Dozier again one day in any capacity, whether that's as a player or even on his staff, which I thought, is PJ retiring? Like, I don't think that's a long way.
Honest to God, no, your joke. Didn't you kind of interpret it that way? Like, you guys can probably find the audio or somewhere online, but that was the thought that popped into my head too. Was he's like, I would like to work with him again one day, almost like not coach him, work with him again someday. Be that as a player or as a coach.
Yeah,
or
it was,
something like
it
that.
was
my
really
staff,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
it was
it's
a
like,
weird. I'm not really sure how to read into it, but it was an interesting way to present it. And then obviously on Memphis, they're third in the West for a reason, and it starts with Ja Morant. And he went on to wax poetic about Ja. I think you guys all get it. He's fast, he can dunk, he's hard to guard, etc.
Yeah,
That's all I got.
that's the notes we got here. I have a note.
Yeah.
I am still, but less so right now, but certainly last night and
I
even
know
part
where-
of
I
this
know where
day
you're
is
going with this.
still buzzing from Wednesday,
So
guys.
true.
Is it true? Like,
Yes.
honestly, that game was so freaking
Yes.
awesome that I was still like,
Dude, I just put this out onto Twitter. Like, this exact moment is the height of Nuggets vibes
Vibes of the
over
This
probably
year.
this whole season.
really, so for 11 months, really, because we were just going back and looking at old like video shows
This
and
is
what
like
ranked
the-
tires, and like the Nuggets 8-game winning streak when Aaron Gordon first arrived was like that. That was 11 months ago, but that might have been the only. I mean, maybe
well, we beating
the Rivers
the
game,
Trailblazers,
yeah.
yes.
The Rivers
but
quarter,
this
yeah.
season,
Yeah.
And what did it take? It took Jokic going absolutely superhero mode over a horribly decimated team in the Clippers, and had to do a very heroic comeback to even win that game. But we're so starved for vibes that it has propelled us into almost being unbearable. Adam,
You're in a weird headspace this year that everything's like 10% lower than it should be. I'm telling you, I'm being serious here.
Well-
because that's not why the vibes are great. The vibes are great is because Jokic looked like
god.
prime Michael Jordan mixed with prime Shaquille O'Neal mixed with prime Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
And it was like the most amazing thing ever to watch. And then it ended in a game winner. That game, even on
I
its own
agree.
in a vacuum, was like a 10 out of 10 vibes one. That's why I'm saying usually the vibes, if they last longer than 4 hours, you have to call a doctor. This one was like, I'm telling you, last night, when I'm done with all my work, I'm like, you know what I'm going to watch? Highlights of that game. Just going to go back and watch. I've
know.
already watched it again.
I
I'm going
couldn't
to watch
sleep.
the highlights.
but I'm saying, like, if they were to perform in that same manner tonight out against a legitimately formidable opponent in,
It'd be even more
albeit
awesome.
the hampered Memphis Grizzlies, but a top 3 seed in the West, and they beat them in the same manner, like, I mean, I don't know.
I also thought, guys, it was a turning point for, not to combat my friends in Respect Twitter here, Jokic back at the top of the Kia MVP ladder.
Man, you're right.
And there
Hey.
was, listen, that day started with Joel Embiid's
Right.
not just great game, but again, what does he
Coronation
get
in a lot
credit
of
for?
ways.
The dominance. It looks so
Yeah.
physically dominant. Jokic doesn't just have a great game. I would say, in whatever it is, the way that Perk's trying to articulate it when he says the word dominance, that was Jokic's most dominant performance, I thought.
No doubt.
And so
No doubt.
all of, like that thing was in the story, the news cycle for 12 hours, if 10 hours, and then it was Jokic. And it was all Jokic.
How does he follow it up? Honestly, it's like, because he's been on a little bit of a heater, actually. I mean, he's got triple doubles going right
I
now.
kind of hope. Look, he's only ever going to read the game as it comes to
Yeah,
him.
it's
I
so
think.
true. So
I don't.
true.
We didn't see that last time.
Well,
We
Yes,
saw
he
it in
did.
the last, like the game he saw, like was like, oh, I need to score.
well, I know what you're saying.
Well,
he,
yeah.
he shut the computer down and he went into score mode.
Yes.
and
At
so
the
I-
end, he picked it back up. Yes.
But I'm sort of saying that I hope we see more of that. I hope
Yes.
because his 3-point shot is falling right now. Adam, you talked about this in the Slack. What a rhythm he gets into when that shot's
Yes.
falling. And also, I was thinking
Yes.
about the way he was emoting in that game, just screaming.
Yes.
Let's get on a roll, man. Let it be Jokic right now.
Honestly, Yoke being an emotional player like that would
Yeah.
be like, that's like, he's missing it. Like, he kind of needs it, man. I really believe it. He needs it in a good way. Let's get into the fun here. It's the debut now of Boogie and Bryn.
Boogie and
Boogie
Bryn.
and Bryn. Man, almost sounds like a TV
The
show or
B&B.
something. B&B, man. So we don't know if DeMarcus Cousins, as Vogt said, we'll find out. He went through a warm-up. Harrison Wind is reporting. DeMarcus Cousins looked very winded going through a warm-up, so maybe this isn't the debut.
Does that just mean he was spotlighted by Harrison Wind? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Halfway through, I was like,
yeah, it's
oh,
hard
no,
to
I'm
land.
talking. I'm talking. Go ahead.
Wind.
Wow.
is what he's
Wow.
saying.
He was winded. Yeah, okay. Really bad. Man,
I
the whole
you guys
show's ruined.
I
now.
know. You guys really shut down and let me drown in that one. I appreciate it.
Wow. So will it be a letdown to you if DeMarcus Cousins doesn't play tonight? Is it going to be like a little bit of a I don't know.
It'll be on Twitter. It'll be like, oh, God, JaVale didn't play him. Now we got, why would you ever
That
get a
is
backup
true.
center for this guy? He won't
That is
play
true.
him.
Well, the one thing I would say is it would be very weird to me if they signed him on a 10-day and he gets a DNP health. Like, you're like, well, why did you sign it? Did you not know that going in? That to me would be a little strange, but
I think they do know it going in. One thing to consider, I think the trade deadline, is it exactly 20 days
20
from now
days. So are you thinking there's 2 10-days coming up?
for DeMarcus? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering about. And do they use that as just not just a look of him on the court, but just him being around before they make any deadline decisions about bigs? I don't know.
It could be. I would be a little disappointed just because I'm excited to see it.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
I never like
Totally.
when you have to like wait and wait and wait. Look, man, I'm intrigued by the DeMarcus Cousins thing. I really am. I obviously, number one, could spell Yoke on some of these games so he doesn't have to play this or that. But I'm also just kind of intrigued by what if he's awesome?
Yep.
He
Yep.
comes in and like has a little like 18-point game in 18 minutes, and you're like, wow, this guy's really dominant. And then you get even further on that, and you think, what if he and Yoke get to play together? And I know with the way the NBA has moved, it's very rare for 2 centers to share the court. But look,
Dude.
Yoke and Boogie are both very, very unique, very outside-inside can pass. And there is a world in which those 2 guys are just like, you have to start play. You know, when you go small, other teams feel like they have to match you small. Imagine if like the Clippers last night were like, well, we got to play Hartenstein and Zubats together. We've never done this before, but we got to do it. Like, if other teams start doing that, they're going to suck because they can't.
I mean, do you remember when Boogie and AD were together in
it worked.
New Orleans? It worked very well.
Yeah.
Like, that team was
Chris Finch.
Yeah, and they
That's right.
who did they end up beating in the playoffs? It was
was it Portland?
I think it was Portland, yeah.
Whatever,
Everybody
but
beats
it
them.
was like super convincing. That's right. They absolutely smacked Portland when Portland
Right.
was coming in as the higher seed, and it was like really felt like something was happening in New Orleans. It did not.
It's a long time ago, right? Different Boogie, but
All the same, like what Adam is saying, I can foresee that if Boogie occupies the center and Jokic is able to roam around and play facilitator and shooter, like. Yeah.
What about Bryn Forbes? What kind of ovation do you think Bryn Forbes is going to get tonight? I mean, he's going to play. Like Mike Malone, put no mystery to that. Not he's available. He's going to play. What kind of ovation do you expect from him from the Ball Arena crowd?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if he gets a huge one. I do think those who are super dialed in are excited. They know the Nuggets need a shooter. They know the bench needs a different look. You know, there are going to be, at any given game, some people who go to a game and don't know who Bryn Forbes is. That's going to be a factor. He's not a star. But I'm really excited to see how Malone uses him, and there's a different look at a five-man bench unit. Or if Boogie can't go tonight, do we see more Aaron Gordon staggering at the 5 and then shooters, right? And Bryn Forbes, Bones out there in that second unit. I'm just curious about the different looks. Do we see Forbes at all with Jokic, with the starters?
Over under 10 minutes, Eric, for Bryn Forbes.
Like dead on.
He plays exactly 10 minutes.
To the second.
Wow. All right.
8 to 10 minutes.
I said a great line. Over or under 2 minutes for DeMarcus Cousins.
I'm saying under. My guess right now is Boogie does not play tonight.
All right.
I was feeling very hopeful he would play until Harrison Wynn's report of him being.
Including his
Harrison
report in
winded.
the
By the
group
way,
chat.
that report was a Slack message.
Yeah, Slack message. Very winded.
You're right. I shouldn't have said report. When Harrison told us in a private manner.
Very winded.
Wanted to clear that up. Everyone's like, what report? I don't know.
Looking for the report from Wynn. All right. Over or under. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Oh, boy.
Over or under 0.5 threes for Bryn Forbes tonight.
Over.
No question.
Let's
He
go,
gets
bro.
in, he hits a 3.
No question. No
Oh,
question.
man.
No
I like
question.
it. Is
No
he gonna,
question.
Over or under 5 minutes played alongside Nikola Jokic?
With Bryn?
Yeah.
Under.
He's a bench guy.
Bencher. Though we'll get some stagger minutes with him only.
I will say under, but I hope to see some because, again, not just an aid for the bench, a catch and shoot threat around Jokic, something we all want to see.
This is what I like about this game, man. Like I said, I'm buzzing because I'm still like high on that last game. I feel like Jokic's in a great rhythm. I feel like the team has a nice rhythm. We talked about being home. Everybody
What could
just
possibly go wrong?
Yeah,
No.
what could possibly go
The stars are aligned for just the most
Really disappointing second half. Here we go.
The
Everyone
Grizz,
buckle
the
up.
Grizz really are. They're tough too, man. They're really tough.
Good team, man.
Go ahead.
No Desmond Bain.
Right.
Yep.
No Kyle Anderson tonight. And no Tyus Jones as well.
But it's been that way for a while.
Yes, but different than the last time Denver played Memphis.
They have lost 2 of their last 3, although this is their they had that giant win streak going on. I don't remember what it got up to, 11 games or something like that. Lost to Dallas on the second night of a back-to-back. They actually got murdered. They beat the Chicago Bulls, and then they lost to Milwaukee. So they've actually... They're a little
this is
battle-tested.
murderer's row
Yeah,
for
that's
them.
a really tough little stretch there. And this is the second of a 4-game road trip. They're going to go to Dallas after this one. So this would be, look, we want to see if Memphis is going to be one of these teams that starts falling in the standings. They've kind of held on up there this whole year.
Oh, we got a real report from Wynn.
Oh,
We have an actual report?
Did you
What's
guys see
it
the
say?
report from my mom saying Happy
DeMarcus
birthday?
Cousins is available tonight.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't mean he'll play,
Yeah.
but he is available.
Is it's your birthday?
No, I'm just saying equal level report. No, that's it. It's in May.
Do you guys want the starters?
Yes.
Huge wrinkle. Nah, it's the same starters. Morris, Barton, Gordon, Green, Jokic.
I don't think people realize how good that starting group is. I wonder what their record is on the season. I could look it up here in
question.
a second. While I'll throw it to you.
Seems like something we should figure
Our next topic here, though, guys, that I'm really excited about. The Memphis Grizzlies have really stormed onto the scene. Like I don't think this is a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
I think that they are an up-and-coming team. Now, they, like everyone else, this is when Adam Silver and everybody got together to come up with the collective bargaining agreement, and they're like, we're going to try to help small markets. They really screw small markets because they're going to run into the same thing that Denver is, which is that they've done too good of a job building their team. They can't pay everyone, and they're going to end up having an enormous luxury tax bill for a team that just doesn't make that much money. So they're at the same thing where they're in that sweet spot before all the bills come due,
that's
but the
right.
bills will eventually come due. But here's my thought. If I look at this and I think Jokic is in Denver, I think he'll be in Denver for a while. Denver Nuggets are going to be good next 5 years. I just think so. Knock on wood. I think they're going to be good next 5 years, competing for championships. You look out west. Is Memphis going to become a rival? Is Memphis a team that every year they too are going to be in the same spot? And I'll start with that, and then we'll get to some of the other teams you expect to be competing with Denver in the West for the next several years. But Memphis, do you see it? I
see it in that, like you're saying, that they're one of the teams that is near the top that you're always sort of looking at. It requires, I believe, a rivalry requires a playoff matchup to formally form. But it's going to be...
I misasked the question then. What I'm asking is, like, when we talk about, can the Nuggets own the next 5 years? Can they own the next 5 years? Who are they competing with for ownership of the West? And Memphis might be, like, team number one that you look at.
I mean...
If the guard changes, right? Like Phoenix and Golden State look different.
In the short run, you have a Golden State. You've got a Clippers. You got a Utah. In the long run, you've got a Dallas and a Memphis. And Phoenix, by the way, in the short run, too. Maybe in the long run also. I don't know.
And, man, I just think they're going to be part of the conversation. If that's what you're asking, like, yes. I believe in the construction of this team. I believe in Ja Morant's talent and Desmond Bane, the way those two play together. I think that's something, like, really special. It's like core building in the same way that the Nuggets have done, where
they do feel like they built things right.
Yeah, and it's going to be the type of thing where, players will inevitably cycle in and out around them, but I think that they have something in place that's going to allow them to be part of that conversation. Yes.
And Jerry Jackson Jr., who is finally starting to look, well, he's healthy, looking like a stud that they all wanted him to be. Absolutely. I think it's really contingent for Memphis upon health, right? Ja and JJJ. A guy, the latter being someone who we've seen hurt already, the former being a guy who maybe a little Derrick Rose stuff going on with landing mechanics and just playing recklessly and all that. Not rooting for it, and we haven't seen it so far, but if those guys stay healthy, absolutely, man. I mean, Ja Morant is, what do the kids say? They say it's a problem, right?
He's a problem, problem. People forget he's a bucket.
People forget that.
So I think one thing that could change this is I think the league is going to expand in the next 5 years, and I think they're going to add Seattle and Vegas. Those are two Western Conference teams, like, for sure. So did we lose a couple of Western Conferences? New Orleans and Memphis go East Coast, and then all of a sudden it's like, thank God, right as they got good, they go to the East. That's like maybe one thing. But I look ahead, and I think Memphis, no question, is going to be there. Dallas, like Ja Morant, Luka Doncic is so good that I don't feel like the Mavericks team is very good, and yet there they are in the 5 seed. And so if they ever get a good team, no question they'll be competing with Denver for future supremacy.
Luka's enough to put you in that convo, right?
If we extrapolate this more than just this season and next, if we talk about the Nuggets, we're hoping their title window's open for 4 or 5 years. If you do that, Phoenix, I'm not so sure. I'm not as sold on them. Like, Chris Paul's such a big part of them, and only should be getting a little bit worse here. Golden State, same thing. They're getting old. We're already seeing some like wear and tear. The Clippers and Lakers are a tough one. The Lakers obviously look terrible, but who knows? They could rebuild.
It doesn't take much.
It doesn't take much when you're in Los Angeles. The Clippers are interesting. So those are the ones, but to me, I look at it, as you talk about young, we've got next teams, Memphis, Dallas, Denver. Those are the ones. Those are the ones to me. The ones that are a little bit, then the wild card. You guys want one wild card here. They're probably too far away.
You can say
he's going to say Minnesota.
Minnesota.
No, because I think
we both.
I was going to say Oklahoma City, and then I'm thinking that's too long. It's actually going to be that's 3 years before they get up there. But they have enough stuff there that I could see them also being one of these young teams that comes next. But there's a lot of steps there. Anyway, I believe it. I think Memphis Grizzlies are going to be a team that Denver matches up with at least once in a playoff series going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2 or 3 times actually over the next 5 years that those two teams line up.
Well, the Nuggets have probably graduated out of the best young core conversation now, right? Yep. They're getting older, and so a lot of these guys are now they're veterans by default. So, I mean, Memphis absolutely has their hat in that ring, right?
Best young core?
Best young core, so...
Are they the best young core?
I mean, they're in the convo.
Who else is in that conversation?
Cleveland. Let's Cleveland. Cleveland definitely
Cleveland
has to
is in that conversation.
Yeah,
Charlotte, you could maybe make a case of. Definitely. They have a very good young core. A sneaky one right now you don't think of this way, Toronto. Toronto has a good young core, but with Scotty Barnes, OG. I mean, I guess those guys are a little bit older. They're kind of like Denver.
Like in between forms.
Yeah, Van Vliet.
You're right. The young players are good. But yeah, I mean, Memphis
last year, you know what I would have said
Memphis
last year?
Next, right?
I maybe would have given number 1 young core to the Atlanta Hawks. This shows you, man, how much things could change in the league. Like last year, they went up 2 rounds. They go to the conference finals with a young team.
About the East.
It also shows you a lot about rules and what rules mean to certain players.
Oh wow, spicy take,
Spicy
take here. And then the only other one is New Orleans, but they're not actually. They're sneaky, not that young either. Like we're talking about Michael Porter no longer being a young player. Well, Brandon
Right.
Ingram's been in the league like 7 years.
Yep,
Come on
yep.
now. So we solved it. All right, everybody, let's make some money. Let's open up DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. By the way, guys, you get a couple. One's a sucker bet. I'm not going to lie, guys. I love DraftKings. But they sucker me. They get me every time. An odds boost, 25% boost on first game score.
What? Didn't even mention that one.
There's 3 bonuses tonight.
There are 3 bonuses. I'm telling you, there's
I'm
nothing
taking
but
them all.
bonuses.
There's a can't miss bonus.
Hold on, I'm getting to my. Can I get the first goal bonus?
Let him get in a rhythm, bro.
Let me get my rhythm. I'm cooking over here.
Dev?
We are
Where's
all
Dev?
collectively agreeing to go with the same guy. Aaron Gordon, profit boost, $5 gets you $64. My prediction: he ended the last game with the last bucket. He's going to start this game with a bucket.
I agree if you mean Jokic.
No, we're all together.
No, I understand. If you mean Jokic.
Come on, are
No,
you
I'm
really
with you.
going
I'm-
against me?
I'll
No,
take it,
no,
bro.
I'm not. I'm not going with. I'm going with you.
Thank you.
If you mean Jokic.
Oh, you are.
Assuming that you were wrong when you said
Eric
that
is
name.
such a bad friend, man. He really is. The
I
vibe.
could-
This is the point of this section. We all get together. Are you really going to bet against me?
I thought the point of this section was to reveal our friendship level to each other.
I'm being revealed loud and clear.
Okay.
All right. What other ones do we have? What other odds boosts?
The odds boost that everyone should take because it's literal free money is that our Lord and
yes.
Savior
Oh,
Nikola
yes.
Jokic has been given an odds boost to hit a double-double.
Spoiler alert.
A double-double.
He's
It is
gonna
a-
do that.
It is a boost. It will put you to plus 100.
So you double
for him
your
to
bet.
get a double-double.
You can only bet $15 max.
They put
though.
a max
because
on it
they know
because
this is a
an
bad
absolute
They know they're
guarantee.
going to lose money on this one.
So
they
if
limit
you want free $15.
well, let me tell you one thing. I think Yoke has like 5 games this year without a double-double. One of them.
my God.
One of them against Memphis.
Get out of our lives, bro.
That's
Get
good
out of our
info, but
lives.
I don't want to hear it. How about this, guys, too? Jokic had some big threes last night, or last game, rather. 3+ threes made tonight.
Dude,
He ain't
plus
taking that
3
many.
plus. Forget
Three's
that.
a
But it's
lot.
plus 350. I'm just saying.
You
It's
don't
out
do
there.
that
For
one.
a
Don't do that
reason,
one.
man. That's tough.
Don't do that one.
All right. What else we
okay,
got?
well, so let's do as Dev does since he's not here. I was once in a relationship.
Oh, wow. Really?
I think you're
Really?
confused about
Oh,
segments.
sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
wrong
He always
segment.
starts off
Yeah.
with the line. The line, of course, tonight for the Denver Nuggets and Memphis Grizzlies is the Nuggets are minus 3.5 points.
3.5
They are
point favorites.
Pull that comment up, Kel, because I agree with Mark.
What?
The bets just don't feel the same.
Man,
like,
it's so true, man. It's so true.
Mark's last name is losing. What do we care what you think about
strong
bets, guy?
counterpoint. Strong counterpoint.
You're the only person whose input we don't care about bets. All right. Anyway, minus
Mark,
3.5
don't listen to him.
for the
Sorry,
Denver
Mark.
Nuggets.
Yeah.
Don't
How
listen
do we
to Eric.
feel
He's a
about
bully.
that line?
3.5?
3.5 taken away from our Nuggets.
Oh, the Nuggets are favored.
They're
tonight?
favored by
I
3.5.
guess they're at home.
Yes.
I don't
That's
like
called
it.
the
How
boogie
about
bump. You don't like it.
that? Yeah.
Okay. So he doesn't like it. What about the under over? Under over 224.
I mean, another hard one. I don't know.
All right. Geez, I miss Dev too. This is rough. Getting nothing from the co-hosts here. Okay, cool. So we don't like points. We don't. To be frank, I never like points. I never bet points.
You have
It's
to
the
do
worst way to
math.
bet.
It's not fun.
Adam and I early on have pre-constructed a same game parlay, which we'll get to in a second.
Okay.
But we need our lock of the game.
I do need a lock. I've got a $20 free bet that I need to put it somewhere.
Where do we feel most comfortable with, given all of the information coming into this game and where it might go? I'll tell you what I feel most comfortable with. Nikola Jokic over on points. Nikola
Really?
Jokic, yes.
All right.
This is a haircut game from Nikola Jokic.
Oh, shoot,
Nikola
you're right.
Jokic understood
25
and
and a
felt
half?
his own power. Yes. I
It's
believe
minus 150 though.
well, it's still a lock. I mean, are you going to not lock
yeah,
something?
yeah.
There's money behind that.
Yeah, I'm
lock.
gonna
You
not
just-
lock it.
Yeah, that's the lock of the night. That's the one that's going to hit. You can bet it.
Dev's
as
not
you
even
see
in the
fit.
chat, so I can like go to him for his lock.
That's brutal. Yeah,
That is
to get
brutal.
a
Yeah, like, Dev,
to get a counter
if you're
lock.
watching and you have a lock.
Dev's
shoot me
watching
a
high
lock.
school
Like,
basketball.
Dev, save us.
Yeah.
All right, Adam and I put together a sort of
Hold on,
fanciful-
there's nothing else.
Dude, that's all I like.
You
What
don't
else
want to do?
like?
Do you want to look at some 3-pointers? Because I always like looking at threes.
All right, what do you like in threes?
Let's see if Bones Highland is in here on threes. Did he show up? Nope. Cowards.
What? What did I
Jokic
just did.
haircut
I
game.
just
Yeah, you
did
did.
mention.
Yeah,
it.
you did.
But I did it in sort of like an angry way that didn't really highlight.
Threes. I mean, do we want to build a parlay?
What up, Wyatt?
Just try to get like 1-3 from someone.
Yes, this is the parlay that I have
All right.
constructed.
All right, talk to
Adam
me.
and mine did for ever so
Plus
slightly.
700, man.
Mine is plus 650. I don't know where we
Wow.
where we deviated, but so I start off with Aaron Gordon, who has been on a tear.
He has been on a tear.
Adam believes he's going to be the first basket made of the, so it'll get
I
my
do
parlay
agree
off
that,
right.
yeah.
Over 12.5 points.
I have that as well.
Then I have Nikola Jokic.
like
I
him.
bumped it up. I took over 27.5 points for Nikola Jokic.
We'll say I have 30 plus. So.
Well, that's where we differ.
Yeah.
Then I took Ja Morant, 1-3 from Ja Morant. Listen, I'm trying to make money here. Ja Morant's going to make 1-3. 1-3 from Ja Morant. That's heresy. You let Dev give out picks like Lonzo Ball. All right, whatever.
Wow. Get in on this parlay.
Then one.
Grizzlies to win. I've also got
Then I have
Jokic to
one
break his
3-pointer
foot
made
and,
by one 3-pointer made by Nikola Jokic. One 3-pointer made by Will Barton. One 3-pointer made by Monte Morris, and one steal by Nikola Jokic.
And you have worse odds than me?
Because I didn't go up to 30 points with his points.
All right. All right, I have this money to spend. Can we put it on somebody here? We got to get to somebody. Give me let's get some points. We all like Jokic. I don't want all of us like hop in on Jokic here.
Why? You don't want us all. You're like, it's like 96. You're like, guys, we don't bet on any of the other Bulls that often. Why are we always betting on Michael Jordan?
All right, I won't make it. I won't make it. That does it for the pregame show, guys. We're going to head down to the bar Friday night. Very excited for it. We get some good Friday night vibes. We might do a little Rocky in the postgame. Who knows? You
It's a Friday
never
night,
know.
man.
We're hoping for it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hit that like button, and we'll see you guys on the other side.
Let's go third quarter.